What's up, guys? Welcome back to TCG Scrubs, the YouTube channel. I'm Oscar, and today we have some interesting stuff to discuss. So for those of you not on Facebook, there's a lot of stuff that happened today. Essentially what it was is one of the largest groups on Facebook, which is the Force of Will US group, pretty much shut down. What exactly happened was it was turned to archive, which prevents people from joining, liking, commenting, to do any kind of interactions with the group. It's there to look at. It's pretty much it. This was seen as a big deal, seen as like I said, the US group was one of the biggest online groups to exist. You have several communities everywhere. You even have the main Force of Will page, which, yes, does have 29,000 likes, but isn't necessarily a community where people can go and talk and discuss certain things. So this was the biggest hub for that was just abruptly shut down with kind of no warning. Actually, with essentially no warning at all. Now, for those of you who are on Facebook who are looking for a community to join, there was a replacement community created, which was Force of Will Global. I'll put a link in the description below and kind of always keep it there for videos going forward, so you guys can go join that and help build that community up again. At the time of recording this video, it's like 9:30 Central, and that community is currently right around the 600 mark, which is pretty cool, seeing that it was just created today. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to what happened to the group. Some people were assuming the company shut it down or something happened in the background. We were actually contacted by Robert Haybear, who is currently the only admin associated with that group. If you go take a look at it, Robert, if you remember, we mentioned him in other videos where he was essentially the head tournament organizer for the US, where he recently stepped down when the hands changed to the new company. And Rob reached out to us to help clear some things up. So when talking to Robert, he did want to clarify some things for like who created the group, why, the reasons the group was created. He did say it was going to be Matt Cosmore himself, Robert, Josh Heater, who was the original owner of the group, Cody, sorry I didn't get a last name on there, and then Tyler Norris. They created the group about 6 years ago, and it was meant as a resource for the company as the company was going to be gaining its footing as it has, was just establishing as a game itself. It was never really meant to last, I guess, this long. It was more of, like I said, just this resource where the community could, see what was going on and, interact in that manner. Robert did say it started to gain traction right around the season 2-3 mark. He noticed that it started to increase and become, like I was referring to earlier, the hub where everybody would go to for all their resources. And he says part of the reason for that was that a lot of the other communities around the world were not as active as the US group was. So it attracted several European players and players from around the world to come over, pretty much increasing those numbers and also increasing from the fact that we're getting new players. As I said before, this page was the largest community page. It had 13,000 members in it. I guess a spark of debate would be how many of those members were actually active. Looking at it myself, I would almost want to wager somewhere between like the 60 to 80% range of users on it were inactive and not active, kind of giving us I think even Rob had agreed himself, saying that he felt the community was probably more around the 500 range of actual active users. Now, how true that is hard to say, because as I've mentioned already, the Force of Will Global page has already reached that 600 mark. We'll see how high that number goes of users currently joining right now. A lot of groups on Facebook tend to have people who join the groups, maybe there's interest in it, and then they simply unfollow the page. They're still in it, but they don't see any updates in their feed. So it essentially makes them not even part of the community anymore. Now, what led to this decision was a decision made amongst the initial creators of the page, not necessarily the active admins at the time. A lot of you remember who the active admins were being: Tyler Norris, Robert, and Eiji. It was instead, like I mentioned, Matt, Rob, Josh, Cody, and Tyler who were in on this to, I guess, necessarily like a vote. I'm not sure how included everybody was, as I've seen like Matt Cosmore, who had posted about this, who was also kind of lost as to what was happening or it's the reason why the page was shut down. So it was essentially a vote amongst some of the admins, it looks like. And again, the current only standing admin of the group is actually Robert. There was some Facebook messages from the group for the US admins during this exchange happened. Now, Robert did express that this has been a long time coming. He says Kim's been working with the company for quite a while now. Matter of fact, he used to be the worldwide liaison. He was demoted to being just a working with distribution after some time, after showing that he would not communicate properly, that he would give false promises. When he was downgraded to just being distribution, that's actually when Jordan came on board and became the liaison. And then after Jordan, we get Jeff, and that's kind of what everybody remembers as like being the best moments of working with the company or having the communication from the company. So again, Kim's issues that Robert says he has is his issues of communication, the fact that he's capable of just lying directly to your face, saying that he will do things but not do them. It's been something that's developed as a joke for anybody who works with him, is that how much of a liar Kim is. When it comes down to it, it was broken contracts. Once Kim came in to take over, he acknowledged that there was contracts there and then chose to no longer honor those. And now some of those contracts are going to be within Rob's team, which has been known for quite some time. Which is Rob's team says Terry Chan, Matt Cosmore, and Tyler Norris. But that these weren't the only people affected by these broken contracts. There's been other people as well. Now, as whether or not we'll find out who those people are, we'll see. I'm sure some of them might want to remain private. After talking with Robert is actually when the Forcible TCG Europe page actually ended up archiving itself as well, kind of standing with Robert, I'm assuming, to show this message to show this message to the company. Robert did say that he had some distaste towards Dico Printing. That it was a shady company, and he kind of wasn't afraid to express that opinion towards it. Dico Printing as well as GI Inc. are the two companies that took place for Force of Will. Force of Will Co., I guess, the Force of Will Company. Force of Will Company essentially dissolved once these two companies came in, and they're running the Force of Will card game. It's kind of how that works. GI Inc. is Kim's company, and then the other one is just the printing company that has been working with Force of Will. We'll go over kind of like more into detail on that interaction in another video. This move was not meant to be something that hurt the community. It's something that Robert expresses quite often when I was talking to him on the phone. But out of protest for the actions of the company for its false promises, the fact that it happened out of nowhere was without warning was more of a shock value situation. He says one of the only ways to get the attention of a Japanese company. When I did ask Robert, I said, hey, would you ever open the U.S. group up again, or can relinquish it or anything like that, or just open the doors again? He said he would, but not until the company or Kim can have accountability for the things that they're saying. In our Svetlana conversation, she talked to Kim, and Kim said there would be a GP season next season, possibly 8 GPs. There's no definite number on that. It's still in the air. He said, let's get that in writing. Let's get the company saying these things, communicating, posting about it, so that way they're held accountable for those actions. And when they don't deliver, then it's us, the community, your customers who come back who are like, why didn't we get this? Why didn't this happen? He says if we can get something like this kind of rolling and getting things going, then yeah, he'd open up the page again. For now, again, so the pretty much synopsis of this, and feel free to comment like too long didn't read or didn't listen, whatever you want to call it, thing in the comments, and I'll pin it. I took notes, and I could be everywhere sometimes. It's difficult, but essentially what it comes down to was the action of closing the group was more of a protest and was meant for a shock protest so the company it comes to the company's attention. He emphasized several times it's not meant to hurt the community. I know some of you are going to see it that way. I'm not on any side. I'm just delivering the facts that were given to me. It is one side. I don't know what other side we need to hear from. Robert had many other things he wanted to communicate as well, which we're going to get him on the channel sometime soon to kind of portray those. He talked about several things, but they didn't really tie too well into the video itself as to what had happened today. As of where we go from here for now, like I said, there is a replacement page that was put together. The mods from the US group who didn't agree with all the things that the admins were doing created in a secondary group, which was called Force of Will Global. Again, just link in the description below. You guys can go over there and join that. The fact that we've created a global page now has kind of been something that had been talked about for quite some time, or at least the reason why the name of the original group was Force of Will TCG US and not just a global group in general. We have that now, so go join. Give the mods and admins some time though to set their rules and stuff in place. I do see some people just going over there and creating posts like crazy. We're working around the no rules thing, but yeah, let's just be cool And that's really all I got. Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts on this was, and I'll see y'all next time.